we go. I'm just hovering around. Hello again, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well right now while you're watching us live on Facebook page, Grow Yourself, and on YouTube, on Grow Yourself YouTube channel as well. We're back again for our eighth episode of what's our talk about? New Zealand first home buying. Just correct me if I'm wrong, Mary Ann. I'm Juby of yourself, and we have.
Hi guys, Mary and Honrubia again from Ray White Manukau, and we are live again here in our eighth episode, and thank you so much Ate Juvie. But to everyone, we are actually, should we introduce our guest now, because we promised last week po, no Ate Juvie, that we're gonna have a very special guest this week.
Medyo ano muna natin, how do you say that one in Tagalog? Medyo patagalin muna ng kaunti. We would like to
Okay,
have a quick on what we have discussed last week, because I think you would like to cover a little bit
a
of
little
the
bit.
other two one. Yeah, or just quick
Yes.
recap.
So we had we talked about different sale methods last week. So I have shared my experience because I just recently had sold under contract a property that I was negotiating for my purchasers. And so what happened is that that's a very good experience. And then a lot of people are actually asking what type of or sort of method that they would want to, like when they're purchasing a home. So we've talked about negotiation, we've talked a little bit about auction, and then we haven't talked about tender and set date of sale. But I think, like, because now that we have found a very special person that we can explain, that can explain to us a little bit more information when it comes to buying and, well, buying a property here in New Zealand, it would be this actually, this person, ate, we really need this professional when we are thinking of purchasing a home. And I think we've already spoken to Sanjeev, which is Sanjeev gave us a lot of information when it comes to, like, when you're planning of purchasing a home, when you're starting, at least you already know your budget. But I think now, ate, right? Like, this is the perfect time to know the best person to talk to when it comes to, we have already decided of, say, putting an offer to a property, or, getting to know more about the property that we're interested.
That's so true. And the good thing with our guest is fellow kababayan din natin, so it's easy for us to connect, right?
Yes.
So grateful for her time and for her expertise because she's been here for a long time, I reckon, here in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And yeah, would you
So
like to
should I
introduce?
yeah, introduce? So this very special person is the very person as well who helped me get my residency here in New Zealand. She was actually my immigration lawyer. Have fought so much to getting my residency because I got declined a lot of times. It was this person who helped me through this journey, and now hopefully in my future of actually purchasing my own, she will of course be my lawyer. So we would like to welcome the newest who just got her Master of Laws in AUT University just this month. So class of 2023. Would love to introduce to you Attorney Maricel. Why should he?
Yay! Thank you so much, attorney.
Hi. Good evening sa inyong dalawa. I'm very inspired kasi this is the eighth episode. So it's a lucky
Yes.
eight. Woohoo! Thank
Lucky
you for
number.
the number. Yeah. And um, I just had a graduation ceremony yesterday. Yeah,
Oh,
but you know what? During the graduation ceremony, I was working. I think it's very different. You know how when you had your first qualification, probably you're so excited, and then second qualification, third qualification, and then yesterday I'm going on. Oh, I've got a settlement. Oh, I've got a deadline doing it. So it's like but then it's really inspirational as well to to go back to study because it's
Yes.
I said it's a privilege that you're able to study because every day is a learning curve. And with you guys, I'm sure that's why I said yes to this because I saw how you guys are doing service to a lot of our kababayan and other the migrants pa. Kasi, you know,
Mm.
I've seen some of the episodes, although let me just admit that I probably did not finish the whole lot, but
It's quite long.
enjoyed it. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. You know what? As was I was telling Mary Ann kanina, ko, Mary Ann, I don't want it to be like a seminar like because
Yeah.
I am those people who sit on the seminar if it's too boring, the more that it doesn't get into me. But I want a
Yeah.
conversation because I learned so much about the
Yeah.
conversation. And then I don't want it to be like structure or what happens to this because I guess, people would get bored and do that. And as well as I want it to be a free conversation. Like you guys were, yeah, you guys have been doing well. Okay. As I said,
Thank
I've
you.
watched for some of the episodes and then I'm
Episode.
going, oh, I was like, oh, Mary Ann, because Mary Ann told me about it, I think a year ago na, di ba? And then we haven't really had
Yes.
time. And then
Doing the podcast. Yes.
yeah, we had an event last week. And then I said, I like that. I like that ability to talk about things lang. Ngayon, so I am here. Okay, not only, I think I would be going on two hats. One, as a person who work with migrants for over 20
Mm.
years. Yes, I've been
Mm.
working with migrants for over 20 years. And also on my other hat, that I've been doing property, okay, since I got admitted, okay, probably in the last 5 years. Sabi ko, sobrang
Mm.
bilis ng panahon. And you know
Yes.
what? I thought that doing property law is not emotional like immigration. And guess what? It's not,
It
right?
is.
It is, I feel like it's more, it's actually more emotional in
Yes.
very in variety of ways, 'di ba? Mary Ann, you could attest to that, 'di ba? Kasi syempre, this is achieving another goal, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Kasama and I'm so privileged, like katulad mo nga na from being able to help them out sort out their visas and now putting another tick
Yeah.
on home buying and then meron pa
Another
yan,
milestone.
ano, setting up a business or
Yeah.
getting their personal affairs in order, so it's really an
Mm.
exciting time. And going back to first home buying, it is very emotional, and you
Mm.
need to also, and I'm sure you guys would know that you need to manage the expectations of a lot of people, especially the first home buyer, di ba? Like yung marami, if we have like if you have lots of money, it's probably your first home would be your dream home. But
Yes.
the reality is not, di ba?
It's not.
Kasi and you've talked about, and I saw that, and I've heard you with the introduction. It based on number one, how much would the bank give you as a loan?
Yeah.
Di ba? And then, what is your ideal home? Di ba? Ang ideal home mo with swimming pool,
Four bedroom.
five
Yeah. Sauna.
the sauna and everything, but your capacity to pay and your financial documents
Yes.
would not. So I
That's true.
always tell them, you know, like coming to New Zealand, you start with your temporary visa. It said you
Mm.
start getting into your temporary home. Sabi ko nga, wag mo
Mm.
masyadong mahalin if this is not your dream home. Kasi
Yes.
baka it's so difficult to let go. Lalo na tayong mga Pilipino, di ba? We're so emotional, di ba? Ano na, this
Yes.
is where my memories. I think that's a difference as well. We had that
Mm.
mindset as Pinoy that when we settle into a one place, especially our first home, we love it so much that it's so emotional to sell them. Tama ba ako?
Mm.
With the
Yes.
clients.
I actually agree because we
I
are
agree.
in the process of selling our home. And then just the other night, the agent who we spoke to said he might bring a buyer in, an offer. And then I
Yes.
suddenly felt like, oh, like I'm supposed to be happy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was surprised that I felt that way. Although when we were thinking of
You were
selling, I was
wanting.
so excited nang sabi siya na he might bring an offer that night. Then yeah, I think you're
May
right.
kurot ng konti, 'di ba? Merong kurot parang Oh, am I gonna let go of all the memories? I built so much. This is, you know,
Not probably with the memories because we just stayed here for 3 years, but because of the effort that I put in. Yeah.
Yes.
And I
yun.
like the project that I've set up.
Yeah. Because when you buy a house, it's not just it's a structure. For you, you put your heart and soul into it, di ba? Even if it's just the
Mm.
people space, even if it meant so much to you, how you set it up, di ba? So I
Yes.
I said I experienced that with both clients who are selling their house and those
Mm.
clients that are buying the house.
Buying the
Because
house.
ano yun, I wanna get into this location, but I couldn't
Mm.
afford
Mm.
this location. No, you wish that you could provide it, and I'm sure Mary Ann has got because before we get involved, you are on that
Mm.
process, well, di ba?
Yes.
So yun. So
Yes. Oh,
anyway,
that brings us to that question, Ate Juvie. When
mm,
is actually the engagement that a client should go and ask a lawyer's advice?
okay. So siguro mag-ano tayo, would start with the question of why do you guys need to have a lawyer? Yun,
Yeah.
siguro yun. Kasi people would go on. I think this is where you go on what is the norm in the Philippines and what is the
Mm.
norm we have in New Zealand. Okay, and I guess with the other countries as well, I think we have a similar situation with the Indian people. They
Mm.
practically don't need to involve this is what I've been told. Probably one of the viewers would correct us, if we're wrong. You don't need a lawyer when you buy a property in the Philippines. Okay? Because all you need to do is basically execute a deed of sale. Okay? And then you could go to
Mm.
any notary public, right? Magpapanotaryo ka, and I think the how much they pay is only about 300 to 500 pesos na siguro with the inflation, and that's about it. They will not tell you, explain to you any terms of conditions. So in New Zealand, you really need to get a solicitor when you're buying a house. Okay? One, the sale will not push through
Yeah.
unless you obtain a legal advice. Okay?
Yeah.
The bank will not give you the loan even
Yeah.
if your loan has been approved because you need to understand the terms and condition. So yun yung number one. You need a lawyer in New Zealand as a legal requirement. Otherwise, hindi.
Yes.
Even if you go,
That's true.
no, I've got 10 houses. I don't need a lawyer. You still need because all of the legal process, registration of your
Yeah.
title, your mortgage documents, all of everything that goes through, it would have to be done by the lawyer. Okay. So,
Yes.
apart from the legal requirement, kasi alam na natin na it's a legal requirement, is that you need somebody to help you understand the legal jargon. Ano ba yung terms
Mm.
and condition? At ano pa naman, the way that the sales and purchase agreement is done, 'di ba? Sobrang dami ng napakaliit na sabi ko nga,
21 page
21 pages or more,
or
okay? 'Di
more
ba?
with the terms of with the
With the
additional
other terms,
clauses.
if you're buying a pre-development, if you're buying so
Yes.
many extra clauses, so you need to understand as a buyer, teka, okay, ano ba yung mga conditions, 'di ba? Pwede ba akong umayaw? So what clauses are that, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Ngayon, paano kung hindi ako makapagbayad on time? 'Di ba ngayon?
Yes.
So if your sign lang, kasi may ganyan na parang, ay, my loan is not approved yet, or all of a sudden the
Yeah.
bank, kasi 'di ba there was a time when you would get a pre-approval and the bank used to,
Mm.
or they give you 6 to 12 months, 'di ba? Sometimes few
Yeah.
years pa of approval, 'di ba? Gone are those days. They
Yes.
don't not anymore, 'di ba?
3 months
Ngayon,
only.
and then magse-settle ka na, and then all of a sudden you don't have any more finance. That could
Funds.
happen.
Yes.
It's heartbreaking. I've seen it. That's why sabi ko nga, akala ko immigration lang ang emotional.
Yeah.
Pala,
Attorney, I just want to ask.
mm,
Wala ako minsan sa itatanong ko eh.
okay
Like,
lang. It's hello.
explain all of these conditions with your client as a lawyer if they hire you as a lawyer.
Yes.
Would you,
Oo.
you,
Yes, this is how I do. Okay. Ideally, before anybody would want to offer, I would say to them, speak to a lawyer first. Kasi
First,
so you
yes.
know whatever, whatever limitations you have in terms of your finance, your timing, etc. It's not just your yung value ng purchase mo, hindi lang yung pera. Okay, because you need to understand. So ako ang ginagawa ko, ideally as I said, if you're planning to buy a house, have a consultation with me. Kasi that
Yes.
one-time consultation would assess you with any property already that you're looking for.
Yes.
I always remind them the first offer that you make is, well, you're suerte if that's the house that you're gonna be, purchasing
That we like.
really. Normally it's not. So I put
It's
that expectation, and then I explain to them ano ba yung mga terms and condition. So ano ba yung conditions that you would put in? In-explain ko yun sa kanila. So halimbawa, when you want to offer a ano to buy a house, you
mm,
would have to number one, the figure in your head. Okay. And
mm.
then you would have to know, okay, how much deposit, because you know for a fact that you could negotiate with the deposit. How
Yes,
much
the negative deposit. Yes.
apart from the requirement of the bank or requirement of the buyer, okay? And then so at saka kailan babayaran yung deposit na yun. Tapos ano yung finance requirements? So I'd explain that to them. Although I do not involve myself in seeking finance. So I tell them I don't want to be involved kasi technically the lawyer could be involved in seeking finance.
Mm.
Okay? But for me personally, and in my practice, I do not involve myself with the
And
finance. Okay, so it's independent. I leave that to the expert in doing so.
brokers.
Oh,
Yes.
kasi you could technically as a buyer, you could assign your lawyer to talk to your
Mm,
mortgage broker. But with me,
yes.
I prefer that they talk about it and they give me obviously a parang approval or whatever
Mm,
proof that satisfied. So basically going back to conditions. Ano yung mga conditions? Okay, so as I mentioned, are you capable? I'm saying to them, these are the things that you need to know. One, your financial capability, your finance conditions. Yung finance condition is not only the approval. It also goes with how are you able to afford everything. Kasi hindi lang yun eh. You'd say, if you're buying a property, hindi nila alam na you'd have to spend for a lot of things pa. And
yeah.
sometimes, kasi kala nila, ay, ito lang, tapos na-approve ako ng
Yeah.
bangko. They don't even know that they would have to be paying, you know what, every year, you're now gonna be paying property tax. Every
Yes.
year, okay, even when you're just offering, you need to pay for limb report. You need to pay
Yes.
for all. So I
Building
discuss
report.
that with the finance requirements. And then how
Mm.
much time do you need for finance? And what is the implications in case you pay the deposit and the bank will say, I will no longer give you the approval, final approval. Kasi that happens, and I have got clients who had unfortunately had experienced that. So what's gonna happen with that?
Mm,
So the finance is, a very broad discussion. And
good.
then second is, okay, what about due diligence? So ano ba yung due
Yes.
diligence? So,
Yeah.
so part yun. Sabi ko, oh, you have to make sure, and I always tell Mary Ann to pag nagkakasama kami, some sales agent doesn't want it to be long. Okay, but I like it long. So normally sinasabi na 3 days of due diligence. So I explained to
Oh my
them,
God.
okay, 3 diligence, it's not enough. Okay, kawawa kami. Kasi you need to
Bakit?
investigate. Oo. Ano yung ibig sabihin nun? So,
So,
it, yeah.
just an example po, no, Ma'am Maricel, with an experience, it was Mama Maricel that I have referred. Parang syempre, I always I cannot give just one lawyer's name to my clients. I always suggest, oh, this one, this one, this one. You can contact them. You're free to contact them. And Mama Maricel is always one of the lawyers that I always put on my list. And
Mm.
then, because at the Juvie, there are, and sa mga kababayan po that are listening, there are times that of course 3 days won't be enough for a DD due diligence, because especially if the property has so much like caveat in the title, encumbrances on the title, buyers don't understand those terms in the title that they're trying to purchase. Kaso nga lang, dahil emotional ang mga buyers, is like contact Mama Rizal or their lawyers will be like, but it's okay, okay na kami, unconditional na kami, but then no, it's not.
No, when the
That's
clients would
not
come,
inquire.
Mahirap
Our
talaga.
lawyer in the chat, hindi nag-reply ka agad sa amin because probably he was taking time to study the
Mm.
situation.
Imagine that's ano, 'di ba? Although all contract may look the same, even if it's the same development. Okay, because sometimes I do handle yung mga pre-development, especially yung peak ng pre-development, 'di ba? So even if looks the same, you would, you could not believe it, merong changes dun sa contract. Okay? And then, oo, minsan I could encounter that as well. Minsan, it's the same property, halimbawa nag-fail, tapos ibang kliyente naman bibili of the same property. I would see the difference. And you would know that as a real estate agent, 'di ba? Oh, sinabi ng ano buyer is to insert this clause, 'di ba? Tapos pagdating sa akin, oh, bakit may ganitong clause? Tapos and at the same time, people also got confused. Kami rin, we don't like this. Solicitor's approval and due diligence. There's a
Yes.
big difference between the
Different.
two. Okay. Minsan din natitrick din ng mga kliyente ko, ha? Minsan ilalagay na.
When it
Oo.
comes to due diligence, correct me if I'm wrong, is it the building inspection and
Part.
valuation? Oh,
It's everything. Okay, due diligence
Everything.
means it allows you really to look into all aspects about the property. So ano ba 'yon? It could be as consideration na price kasama 'yon. Maybe,
oh,
na voodoo-voodoo ka kasi that happens, especially, rogue agents. That could happen. Okay? Especially nung nagtataas tayo ng presyo and then you would go
oh,
on,
Mm.
the valuation would be X amount and then obviously meron nga sabi ko emotional attachment or they really don't know, 'di ba? They could be taken advantage of. Then you would sometimes I encountered it only once naman in terms of
Mm.
price. Kasi parang anong basis nitong ang super layo? Okay, so pwedeng market dictates or merong ni-renovate do'n sa bahay na hindi pa reflective do'n sa, 'di ba? Na meron silang
Improvement records. Yes.
on the records, and then also kasama yung tinatawag, I call it as a fit for purpose as well. So is this
Mm.
really, kasi sabi ko emotion na gandahan kasi 'di ba gano'n, ako rin excited ako 'pag bumibili ako ng bahay. Feeling ko kami na match. Okay. Kasi isipin mo, is it fit for purpose, 'di ba? Buntis pala siya tapos one bedroom lang, manganganak na, eh, di at least, you know,
Mm.
period would allow you to reassess everything. And then obviously, on the side would be the legal stuff. Okay, kung
Mm.
halimbawa kung hindi mo sinama yung lim report, you could put that in the lim report, 'di ba? You could put that kung minsan kasi minsan it's error na wala ng building report and then you talk to the client, ay, so ko, ay luma na yung bahay but we could still get a building report using the due diligence clause.
Yes.
So gano'n,
oh.
oo. So
It
anything,
covers it up.
very broad siya, very broad, okay?
I,
So ang ano nito rin, the positive thing about it at ayaw ng mga real estate ito, it's also our it's our opportunity
Negotiate.
for to negotiate and also an opportunity for us to get out of the contract if it doesn't meet any of that. Puwedeng location
Yes.
pala relocate siya to Hamilton, ta's bumili siya sa tawag nito, sa Auckland, 'di ba? So parang it's not fit for purpose and then you could use that and as well as it protects you because technically it's very broad, hindi katulad ng solicitors
Approval.
it has to be in the aspect of conveyancing, legal matters, 'di ba? And then they would be nakikinig masyado si si Mary Ann kasi merong restrictions. The other lawyer could ask us, a solicitor, why we are withholding and we need to
Mm.
explain. And they could ask that. Okay, if the
Yes.
vendor would go on, say, due diligence kasi, we could say, as instructed by our client, due diligence is not satisfied. That's it.
Yeah.
We don't have to tell them why. Because by law, it's part of the agreement. We don't have to. Unlike with
Mm.
finance, us, if it's a building report, technically they could ask which part of the building report. And
Yes.
then with lim report, it's the same case. They could ask which part of the limb report are we not satisfied,
Not
and
satisfied.
then
Yes.
they could ask for a proof. The due diligence, we don't have to tell them exactly
The
what it is,
reason.
the
Yeah.
reason. Okay? So, wag lang mawili ang iba ha pag nag-change of mind kayo. It's not,
Yes.
in
Hindi
solicitor,
unlimited yon.
solicitor's approval, you could not do that. You could not do that. So they could go, the other lawyer could go back to us and say, Marisol, could you point to me what part of the whole agreement or
Document. Yeah.
investigation are you not satisfied? Kasi
Satisfied.
more nila as solicitor's approval. Yes, Juvie, you were asking me question. Mm.
Because Mary Ann a while ago mentioned about the different kinds of lawyers. It's like your
Lloyd.
expertise.
Mm.
Who should we tap as to the expertise? Yung, when we say the experts really on property, how do we
Mm.
know that that lawyer is
Mm.
really an expert on
Number
property?
one, you would have to be asking. Kasi ganito, parang doktor, di ba? We have so many doctors, okay?
Specialties. Yeah.
Specialties, okay. And then you go on, who is doing what? Meron tinatawag tayo, parang ano rin, we have a general law practice law,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
general practice lawyers. So ganun din, may GP ng lawyers, may GP din ng medicine. Ngayon, you would be asking, are you doing parang are you doing
Property.
property? Okay, like with me at the moment, halimbawa, meron akong case ngayon, okay, where somebody would want to claim for liquidation, bankruptcy. I would say no, I am not doing
Mm.
that. I'm not an expert to that because it's your obligation to inform the clients that you are not doing that. For
Yes.
immigration, I've been doing immigration for 20 years. Property, I've been doing property now for 5 years, more over 5 years. So, yun. Tapos, halimbawa, there's a part of family law that I am doing, which would be, tawag to, reyna po ako ng divorce.
Oh, yeah.
Dissolution of marriage, okay? At saka parental agreements. And why is that? So may backstory to, 'di ba? When I opened law space, I said, it should be an avenue for new Kiwis. I don't want to call us migrants. I want to call us new Kiwis. 'Di ba, we don't know. And what is the natural progression, 'di ba? 'Di ba? New Kiwis. Okay. So ano to? Pagka nakuha natin yung residency natin, we wanna buy a house, 'di ba? We wanna set up our business. Now, if somebody is buying a property and it's a first home and it's not kasi meron like the complicated property transactions, okay? Then that's the time when you would go and I would tell them what is the complication with that one, and probably I need to involve somebody about this. Kasi 'di ba, multi-million, property, and there are different requirements financially kasi may funders, 'di ba? So I would have to be, very transparent and honest. Ngayon, if it's obviously this one that I've been doing for you would have to be asking, are you really doing property or conveyancing transactions? So yun, hindi pwedeng si family lawyer ay gagawa sa'yo for conveyancing. In the same way as criminal lawyers, you will not ask, okay, criminal lawyers sometimes would not do immigration. And then I would have some colleagues who are involved, for example, drink driving, and who need an immigration lawyer to assist them para tulungan sila. In the same way as family lawyers, probably it will touch on property if there would be what you call a relationship property agreement. Okay. So yun,
Mm.
yung sa atin, prenup, 'di ba? O sa mga
Yes.
Oh,
yun. So yung sa akin ang tina-touch ko is anything that yung parang life cycle niya. Kung bibili ka ng bahay, I could assist you. Kung magse-set up ka ng business, our firm could assist you. Ngayon, if it's a complicated commercial transaction that would involve funders, etc., then I will get somebody who's specializing in commercial
Yes.
law. 'Di ba? Okay, kung yung tao nga sabi ko, mapupunta siya sa bilangguan, yung lalim, 'di ba? For a criminal,
Yes.
I would not take that because kawawa. Like with this one, with
Yes.
bankruptcy, etc. So parang ano nga, 'di ba, with the GP, okay, you got a general practice and then they will now refer you to your
A
OB
specialist.
and ENT specialist, etc. So ganun din. So that's why it's exciting. And then siguro yung tanong, bakit ako napunta dun sa ano, sa property? As I mentioned, yun yung gusto kong cycle. Ano 'to, kasi
Yes.
gusto ko yung fulfillment ng isang new kiwi, 'di ba? Kaya kasama
So,
yung divorce, 'di ba?
what's the name of your firm po, attorney?
It's
Lost.
called Law Space. Again, the reason for that is this is a place for you to feel welcome. It's a safe legal
Space.
space na kasi ano eh, minsan may pupunta sa akin na, oh, I've got a problem dito, may kaaway ako, 'di ba? May kaaway siya and then ganito yung problema in terms of sinisiraan ako, the defamation. Okay, then I will be able to talk about defamation, okay, to at least assist them and then point them out to another lawyer who is expert in that field. Kaya siya gano'n.
Yes.
Kung ano, na parang kasi technically wala, eh. I've seen it, I've done the market, walang gano'n. It's either they doing this alone and then halimbawa, I have got employment issues for both ano, a small business owner as well as an employee. What I do is, okay, kasi it's the very basic. Ngayon, and then I'm going, okay, it's gonna go on a complicated matter. Now we need to involve an employment specialist, okay,
Yes.
employment's lawyer, okay, that
Lawyer.
deals with small businesses. Kasi dalawang ano yun eh, it's two fractions eh. 'Di ba? Kung employer
Mm.
ka, 'di ba? Hindi mo alam lahat eh. So at least you know, sabi ko, oy, you cannot just, ano, um, ask them to leave. Hindi katulad ng
Yeah.
Pilipinas, 'di ba? Na parang, o sige, ito
Ayun.
na yung pay mo. So, you cannot
Oo.
do that. Magkakaroon ka ng personal grievance case as an
Yeah.
employer tapos paano kung accredited ka sa Immigration New Zealand. So, at least you cover that base. And then, obviously, if it goes on transaction, 'di ba? And then you change it. And that's the purpose. That's my golden purpose is that I want you to be able to say that, can I come to your office, ask you a legal question? And then
Yeah.
at yung parang first point, and then can you hold my hand and direct me to somebody? Kasi,
Mm.
'di ba? So ako, I
Yes.
do that synergy and I'm trying to build more, connections with somebody who's expert in litigation, IRD
Mhm.
matters, for example. Kasi ganun yun eh.
Mm.
You cannot be an expert of
Of
everything.
everything.
You
Yes.
could not. Okay, and please, kahit na makikita mo yon, halimbawa sa akin, oh, why are they doing family? That family alone, I could do as again, the solution of marriage, parental, but if it's gonna involve, complicated um, property transaction in terms of the dissolution of marriage,
Separation.
then I would have to involve an expert in divorce. Kasi alam nila yung paikutin. Ngayon, ang swerte ko lang
Yes.
that I think through the years, and Mary Ann could attest to it, is that yung kliyente, because there's a transfer of trust, okay,
Mm.
even if there would be another lawyer that is involved, I am so privileged that they would still want me to be part of the conversation. And that ano, tas kasi nahihiya ka, eh. Minsan 'di ba,
Yes.
"Ma'am, pakitanong 'tong mga questions ko." Or they did not understand it 100%, 'di
Yes.
ba? And then so I would then have to bridge that gap. Okay. And this is how the word should be working. We should not be in competition. We should all be working together in helping somebody. So kaya siya law
Yes.
space. I don't want it to be my name because I said it's a space where people could go ask legal questions and then
Mm.
space where you don't feel like, teka, nakakahiya naman, bibili ako ng franchise, naiintindihan ko ba 'tong franchise agreement na 'to, 'di ba?
Mm.
And then
Yes.
if it's a simple franchise o kaya um, merong lease agreement, somebody who's wanting to open a small shop, you're not gonna go to a commercial lawyer for that kasi duduguin ka ang bill mo. But at least, like
Yes.
buying the house, it's doing that due diligence. Ano ba ibig sabihin nito? Can I get out of the contract after mag-sign ako nito? Paano kung nalugi ang negosyo ko? Do I still have to pay for the lease? Yung mga basic grounding that the new Kiwis would want. O gusto ko na
Ma'am,
hiwalayan tong assignment. Yes, go on.
Ma'am Maricel, I have a question. So like most of so this is one kind of mistake of most purchasers. So the reason why they don't go directly to a lawyer is because they know that it might cost them heaps of money, which we know, of course, you charge because it's a professional's advice. But the thing is, like most of my so like me, I work with so many buyers. I love working with purchasers, with buyers, especially pagkababayan. I love explaining a lot. But I always tell them, kasi by law, we are obliged to say that I recommend you to go to a lawyer now if you're interested in this property. I could help you set up with, like, explain to you the basics of the sales and purchase agreement. But at the end of the day, prior to signing everything, go to your lawyer, show this to your lawyer. Yun yung palagi kong sinasabi sa mga kliyente ko. But then majority of the time, they're scared kasi akala nila na parang, yun nga, duduguin
Sobrang
sila na,
mahal
ang
to go
yes.
Yes.
one.
Follow-up question to that. How much would
Mm,
be the consultation fee if they approach you for the first time? Just getting an
Okay,
idea.
my consultation fee for Pinoys, okay, this is
mm.
special price for Pinoys. Okay, but this is gonna change next year. Ilang araw na lang. Okay, regardless of what the area of the law is, pag Pinoy, it's a standard 345. And I always tell them, you're better off paying a 345, okay, to know if, at least before you sign. Okay?
Mm.
Kasi minsan pupunta sa abogado dahil may problema na sila.
Mm,
Yes.
'Di ba? Sana hindi ka nag-sign nung ano, nung sales and purchase agreement, wala ka
yeah.
pa palang ganito, 'di ba? Or sana hindi ka
Yes.
nag-sign ng agreement, pumirma ka nung franchise agreement, ano ba, for example, may cleaning business, et cetera, without understanding dun. Kasi may ano ka, you're happy meron kang 50,000 pambayad ng franchise, 'di ba? Tapos feeling mo naman kaya mo ngayon. Tapos pero you were not able to do the full due diligence kasi hindi ka nang hingi ng financial records, bumili ka ng business, 'di ba? Meron ganyan, may kliyente, 100,000, I remember this, bought 100,000, 150,000. They're so happy. Tapos ano nila, and you could technically buy that business without having to go through that. Kaya lang merong indemnity na hindi ka nag-seek ng advice, then ang ano dun is you understood every term and condition with that contract. So yun. So it
Mm.
again, property, it's important to seek at least you know the basic. What, 'di ba? You will be paying for what? Almost 1 million. Okay,
Mm.
including
A
or
proper.
more. Okay, including the
Mm.
interest. You will be paying, committing for 30 years, 25 years, and you don't want to spend, even if it's $500, I would still have to
Mm.
pay 500
Yes.
just to get a legal advice. Yes, Julie.
So, when we approach a lawyer na talagang nag-deal na kami sa kanya when we
Oo.
bought our property, we paid almost 2,000 overall, but not right up front. Hindi pa. It
Oo.
was like nung
Settlement
nagbawa
formal.
na, settlement na. But
Gano'n
in your
talaga.
case, if they're going to take you, get you as a lawyer, how
It's
much
the
would it
same.
amount?
It's okay, a simple sales and purchase agreement, okay, with a mortgage, kasi karamihan naman may mortgage, it's basically the same. What we do is, um, 2,000 plus GST, okay, including KiwiSaver. I don't add up, kasi some people go, "Oh, another 500 for KiwiSaver." It's like, you're gonna be doing that in anyway.
Mm.
And what you have is the disbursement and office. So, mga gano'n, between 2,300 to max siguro 2,800. And you pay that
And
only at settlement. Okay, the
Mm.
consultation that I was telling you is if somebody wants to come in for an advice, okay, so that's one time. Okay, and as I
mm.
said, very valuable to do that kasi at least alam mo na kung mag-o-offer ka, anong ilalagay ko dun sa ano. And then when I go to a sales agent like Mary Ann, I have all the questions already lined up. Kasi tinatanong ng sales agent yan, "So what conditions do you want us to put in?" At karamihan naman
Mm.
ng sales agent would go, "May special ano pa kayo?" Malay mo pala nagbebenta siya ng bahay, 'di ba? Para
Mm.
to buy, this is a second home. So kailangan
Mm.
i-align yung timing. What if kung hindi nabenta yung bahay ta's nag-declare ka ng unconditional, patay, 'di ba? So yung mga gano'n, oo. And then halimbawa failed kasi minsan nakakaano siya. So kasi I would be dealing with the other vendor's lawyer. So ang inaano ko because they have signed up with me, I just charge them if the transaction will fail between
Mm.
$345 to $500. Kasi ang dami ng ginastos
Oh,
ko, 'di ba?
yes.
Dami ng
Yes,
ginastos
building
na
lim
siya.
report is 480 for a 10 urgent report, and then building inspection will be at least $800
Correct.
to 1,000.
So, yun lang. Tapos pero yung ano yun, means dun sa halimbawa if the property would be declared unconditional, I would lalong-lalo na halimbawa nakatatlo, nakaapat na siya, I will deduct the at least
Mm.
145 to the bill. Kasi
Mm.
effective naman
Yes.
kasi pero kung one time lang siya, technically my professional fee, 'di ba? Ang sarap ng agent ni Mary Ann. At saka ng
Wala.
mortgage advisor. Sabi ko nga, ano, ano ang tawag nito? Us would be that fee lang. Kasi we pay disbursement for registration with LINS, Land Information New Zealand. Tapos every time we call out the title, 'di ba? So may mga ano 'yun, $5, $6. Oo. So mga transfer fee, we have got to pay that. Oo. So kasama 'yun dun. So and again, all of this will be billed, okay, on settlement. Oo. So,
Mm.
yun lang. Kaya ano, tawag nito, it's different if it's a complicated relationship in terms of halimbawa pre-development because there's gonna be
Yes.
on that's going to be
Sunset
on
clause and everything, yeah.
sunset clause, so how many hours you've worked for that client. O yun lang ano
Yes.
natin. So yun,
You have more?
it's important to know that. And people would go and ask me, "Ma'am, magkano yung professional fee?" And we tell them right away, I don't like gray areas. Even with
Mm.
immigration, put up a price and then and you would know, halimbawa may complications din, oh, we need I'm gonna be working on it. Halimbawa may dispute for example, 'di ba? And then even after the settlement if there's dispute, so the hours that you will be working on that, yun lang. Mm.
Yeah. You have more questions, Ate Juby? There's a lot of questions when in terms of
Sabi ko sa'yo
actually
ang dami nating
purchasing.
puwedeng pag-uusapan, eh, and I'm
Yeah,
happy oo.
there's
I'm just
even a lot. Like I have a lot of questions, but then maybe on the next episode. But then you, Ate Juby, you have another question.
now I'm blown away by the many information that I'm surprised about because I just
Oo,
bought a house that I didn't really fully understand. We just hired a lawyer, paid him casually. We just actually met him once during the settlement date. And it was like, oh, that was
okay. I tell you, when I first bought a house in 2007, I was not I was not informed of any of the conditions. Really. Any of the conditions I signed because I like the house. And then, I spent time explaining the loan documents. Kasi, even the loan documents. Okay, so what's gonna happen with you when you're having hardship? What's gonna happen to you if you declare unconditional? Diba? So if you
Yes.
declare unconditional, you got your legal obligation. You could not tell me that you changed your mind. Okay?
Yes.
Ako
mm,
yung importante sa akin because as I grow in this profession, I see yung mga spots where there could be a miscommunication. Kasi you learn, as you go, 'di ba? Parang, kaya nga sabi ko, I thought it was less emotional, pala gano'n. Parang, oh my gosh, have I done lalo na nung bagong-bago ko, parang, have I done this? Ngayon, I would spend if you would book in your first home buyer, I would spend the entire hour with you. I'll make it you pay
Mm.
me per my second that entire 30 to 60 minutes because I want you to understand.
Yeah.
Because the more that you understand, the more that I know that I will do my job. Okay?
Mm.
Kasi ayun, it also we as a lawyer, sabi ko sa'yo, pinakamalaking risk namin more than the agent and more than the mortgage advisor. Kasi if they did not understand any of the terms
Yeah.
of the agreement, it could boomerang to us. Siyempre ako
Mm.
noon, I also go on, how I enjoy the trust of the client. I also want to be able to trust my client that they understanding what I'm saying. Okay? Tsaka kaya
Mm.
conversation before, sabi ko sa'yo, probably my first two years, parang ano ko yung nasa mindset ako ng I was only doing, immigration, that I believe na naintindihan ako. 'Di ba?
Mm.
Ngayon, kahit ba napakabait mo sa akin, I would have to send you the summary of everything that we spoke about kasi baka magka-amnesia ka. Alam mo yun?
Yes. And
Oo.
it's that's the thing. And it like just to share with you. So sabi ko nga kay Ma'am Maricel, iba yung paniniwala ko bilang ahente. Kasi when I was still getting my license po, one of our instructors, which is she's really really good, one of our instructors always joke that lawyers hate us as agents. So parang ako naman parang bakit kaya? Kasi when I was still studying, and then sabi ng instructor, because agents will always just pass everything to the lawyer, like okay, sign here, sign here, sign here, put it on to the lawyer, parang ganun, kumbaga parang ang dali daw ng trabaho namin. So parang ako ngayon, when I got my license, I put it into one of my goal, and ang ano ko po is parang ano ba tawag dito, panata, parang panata ko
Mm.
is that I would, as much as possible, make it easier for my client's lawyer, that I've already explained as much as I can to my clients. Kaya nga po nung seminar namin ni Ma'am Maricel last week, my topic was the rights of a purchaser, para may protektado si purchaser, and at least alam ni, like, people like Ma'am Maricel, na merong mga ahente naman talaga na
I
honest as possible.
I was so happy when you did that kasi parang feeling ko, sabi ko nga I take my job so seriously, alam mo yan sa immigration. And then now that I am, going into kasi imagine mo the people that I work for 20 years, 'di ba? Sila na yung bumibili ng bahay ngayon o kaibigan nila.
Yes.
Tapos yun nga na nakita ko, oh my gosh, hindi pala 'to simple as gano'n, transactional, hindi.
Yes.
Nakita ko yun yung risk. Siyempre I've been through, people who've been asking me questions and then you also looking at yourself, have I done enough? Have I done
Enough.
the right thing? Sometimes I would go, "Oh my gosh, have I done this?" May panic mode din ako, especially when I was new. Kasi you don't know and I'm sure you went through that
The
cycle as well.
things. And even Ate Juvie as a teacher.
'Di ba may ganyan, my mom is a teacher, I came from family of teachers,
Risks.
Teacher Julie. So ngayon, yung ano ko dun na parang, oh my gosh, you need to get into there kasi you need to protect them too.
Mm.
Hindi it's not a transaction. Plus, I could lose my license. Just
Mm.
like,
Mm.
and
Same as me.
and I also that's why I was so happy and so proud of Mary Ann. Not because I'm patting and we have got this conversation when she had that as a topic. Kasi I've also seen very rogue sales agent. Okay, and then sometimes a client would sa lalong-lalo na feeling ko pa nga nun I've been used by an agent, okay? Kasi parang ano, siyempre they would put up names, 'di ba, katulad mo. And then they would push me and then ako naman tuwang-tuwa kasi maraming nag-aano sa'kin, "Wow, I feel."
The-refer. Yes.
Yung feeling mo, "Wow, ang daming pumapasok sa'kin in terms of ano." Ngayon, tapos ang ano dun is that, sabi ko, I put up that parang division, okay, a wall that says that I am not working for an agent. I am
Agent.
working
Yes.
for my client. Because
Mm.
sometimes, if you're selling tomato, you will push selling the tomato and the benefits. And then sometimes, and especially yung sinasabi ko, rogue agents, I'm so happy Mary Ann is not one of them, would be saying about so many things about the property, so many promises about the property, but I could not see that in any of the legal documents. Okay?
Mm.
It's
May
called
Yes.
gano'n.
marketing, 'di ba?
Kaya ano,
Toxic.
Mm.
sabi ko, I don't wanna deal with yung gano'ng klaseng agent. but I would be asking if it's coming from the other lawyer, kasi kami, we have a pact. Obviously, I deal with the other lawyer. I don't talk to the real estate agent. Maski
Mm,
kung ako dun sa inano ni Mary Ann, I don't talk to her, I don't negotiate with her. I negotiate with the other lawyer.
other
And that's how
lawyer.
it's that how you do it. And I must confess, during my first year, I was inclined to, kasi minsan sabihin sa'yo ng agent, anong client mo, "Ma'am, could you call my agent and ask?"
Yes,
Ako
because they
naman,
don't really know what to say, yes.
gustong-gusto ko namang pagsilbihan yung kliyente ko, okay? During that time,
Gano'n din ako, eh.
first, oh, gano'n ka rin? You talk to the lawyer?
'Di
Alam
ba
mo,
'di ba okay. So, Ate Juvie, this is what happened. So, Mama Maricel was the lawyer of my clients, but because my clients don't know how to actually ask questions to Mama Maricel, so I tried wanting to ask questions to Mama Maricel directly, but then Mama Maricel wouldn't answer me because of course I'm not the client. So,
Yeah.
then I'll have to tell my buyers, "Naku po ma'am, kasi hindi ako puwedeng makipag-usap sa lawyers niyo because then that will actually be a conflict of
conflict
the
of
Oh,
whole
interest.
transaction."
Oo.
true.
Yes.
Pero siyempre 'pag ano ka din masa-spot on mo again, like being a teacher, 'di ba, Juvie? Minsan parang, 'di ba, hindi mo puwedeng kung nag-aaway yung dalawang estudyante, you cannot just go and then make peace with them. You have to follow the protocol. Siyempre ikaw, tas lalo na tayong mga Pilipino, innate, we wanna serve and we wanna serve 200%. If the client before, and I remember this, would say, "Could you ask my real estate agent about these questions?" Ako naman din nun, parang kay Mary Ann, okay, I have done that too. Tatanungin ko siya. Ngayon, later sabi ko, "Oh my gosh." Buti na lang, obviously, I've learned, 'di ba? Dati parang ano, tsaka sabi ko, "No." Oo, ganun
Hindi
talaga,
naman
kasama
siya,
yun. Mm.
hindi naman siya illegal if you talk to the agent,
It's
eh.
not
Pero
it's not illegal, but ano,
unethical.
you wanna put that wall, because otherwise, if it's always like this, if anything happens with the transaction, it goes south, tapos nagkaroon ka, you could be accused of conflict of interest, 'di ba? Meron kang
Yes.
claim.
Got it.
Kasi pareho kami, halimbawa ni Mary Ann, magkakaroon kami na parang, was I conned to, influence to declare
Mm,
unconditional because my agent and my lawyer are working together. So yun. So dapat
mm.
yun, it doesn't matter. Tsaka,
Yeah, you
I
wouldn't want to.
whatever promises, for example, that agent has said to the client, as if it's not appearing in any legal documents, then it doesn't have
Mm,
any effect. Minsan makikipag-ano pa yung kliyente, sabi, "But ito yung sinabi nung ano ko, I will
yung
get you,"
agent.
but it's not on the ano, now I would have to ask the vendor's lawyer confirmation, tapos more often than not, hindi yun yung version ng storya. So, with
Yes.
me, I go on, okay, this is what my client understood. Could you get a confirmation, an instruction from the vendor that this is
Yes.
the arrangement? Kasi madali lang naman eh. And then also, what I probably like about doing property and conveyancing would be yung negotiation in terms kung merong problema.
Sa
I like
bahay.
sa bahay, 'di ba? Parang, oo, I remember, ito yung parang feeling ko very successful ako in that regard nung meron akong something happened with the roof, may problema, tapos yung quotation. Parang naano mo na, as a person, that you feel like you've given that buyer, that client, an opportunity na hindi niya na problemahin, because you're able to arrange for and justify why you could ask for reduction. Teka, yung mga nanonood sa atin, hindi para sa lahat yun, ha? Oo. Oo. Parang kasi
Okay.
And
niya pa eh. Oo.
depende
So you can
din yan,
only
Ate
find
Juby,
that
sa
out.
agent. Opo?
So that can only be found when you had the building inspection done, right? Because you need to see what's wrong with the house before you would say, okay, let's go offer do the unconditional, things like that.
Yes. So, depende pa rin siya at Attorney Maricel, 'no, and then Ate Juvie, because so like me, ang difference ko kaya medyo hindi ako ano, eh, hindi ako gano'n palagi kong masyado ang mga ang listings. Kasi parang ako, sobrang particular ako pag nagli-list ako ng property. Katulad nung nabanggit ko dun sa seminar, Mama Maricel, like as much as possible, if I know that the property can have an underlying defect, I always want to rectify it as much as possible para maganda din yung mabenta ko. Kumbaga, I am actually giving the best result for my vendor by saying, you know what I can do if you have, let's say your house is a fiber cement, let's do a building inspection at least to make sure if it doesn't have any moisture reading. If it does, then we have to fix it before we put it on the market. Then at
Correct.
least we cannot negotiate us down because we've rectified the problem. But at the end of
And
the day, it can still be found.
and at
Mhm.
least you also setting up a realistic expectations with your vendor. Kasi
Yes.
I also have, I think I had a phone call 2 nights ago. So signed up and they say, you know how you give parang this is how much we would be able to sell it. Okay? And then they signed an agency agreement. Okay? Ngayon, tapos ano na, oh, 1 week only after in the market, my client has been calling me, sabi niya, Maricel, this is not Pinoy. Sabi niya ganun sa akin, my agent said because the market is down, I now would only have to sell it for less than 15 less 50,000. And I'm going, didn't he just give you, di ba? Did he just give you a figure, di ba? Appraisal that he'll be
Mm.
able to sell it from this. I said, how long has it been? 1 week. And I'm going on, oh my gosh, sabi ko ganun.
Mm.
Okay, no, because why would 1 week would make a difference, $50,000 difference, sabi ko.
No.
Uh, oh.
Sabi ko nga sa'yo, ako ang difference lang siguro with with me doing immigration, ito mas merong live in action and then it
Yes.
varies. Yun lang. Kasi that's basically why I went into a different area, because having done immigration for 20 years, you could
Iba.
imagine that you're not bored. I'm still passionate about it. I know, that's why I continue studying. Parang
Mm.
I want excitement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
I want
not
excitement. I wanna
comfortable
learn
with
more. Oh,
it.
I wanna learn more.
Yes.
So,
Madaming action, Ate Juvie, sa
And
sa properties industry
so,
kasi mabilis ang movement sa
oh, beating the 4 p.m. as well, Mary Ann. Beating the
So everything should be done by 4 p.m. Ate Juvie. So like let's say if
oh,
you
yeah,
are, you know,
even in the
po,
middle of the night, we got messages from my mortgage broker, and then my mortgage broker and lawyer were, have a constant communication. Kahit hindi naman sila magkakilala because I think lawyers should work with the mortgage broker, right? Kasi
yeah,
ilala
especially I get involved if they have gotten the finance and we're doing the loan na. Okay. Pero on the
yes.
process, hindi ako nag-aano kasi ang ano ko doon, ma-approve ka muna before I get involved.
Oo.
Tapos
Yes.
pag-usapan natin, oo. Pero yung deadline on settlement, 4 p.m., karamihan every
Every
Friday.
Friday.
Bakit? Alam mo, ako nga, I'm avoiding Friday settlement. If we would have a hand, sabi ko, we'll do it Wednesday. Ako mas gusto ko Wednesday. Kasi feeling ko
Actually,
I've got
Ma'am Maricel, funny thing, I always tell my buyers, I always like, I don't know, maybe because I have a friend who is a lawyer and I put myself in your position. So what I always say is that if you really want to settle on a Friday, maybe make it a little bit earlier with all the documents you need, finances and everything should be at least on a Thursday or a Wednesday instead of going all the way to the Friday and then all the way to the end of the day, which is really hard for everyone.
Bakit
parang
ayaw
gusto
nyo
ko
ng
na,
Friday?
ewan
Lahat
ko ba,
kasi Ate Juvie, Friday
kung sino nag-invento yan, ako nire-invent ko. Sabi ko,
sa New
katulad ngayon,
Zealand.
oh, next week, 'di ba, lalo na last day of settlement would be around 20, 'di ba? 20 na kasi
Nako,
magbabakasyon na sila.
patay.
Oo, sabi ko, please, sabi ko, tayo 18, 19. Okay, ayoko ng 20 kasi people would be wanting to get out. Sabi ko gano'n. Last kasi
Mm.
or yung last yata 22 eh. Pero parang sabi ko, hindi, 18, 19. Pero I prefer Wednesday settlements or Tuesday. So, if
Yeah.
something that I could do
Actually,
on a
it's
really
actually better. It's actually better, no, attorney. Kasi, and then Friday, they can move some of their stuff. At least they've already done all the documentation and everything on a
correct.
Wednesday.
Oo. Hindi ko nga
Hindi
alam
ko
kung sino
talaga
nag
mag-gets dito sa New
Friday.
Zealand.
We
Tapos ang ano ko
settled,
nun,
I think kami, nagsettle kami Wednesday, and then we moved
good,
Thursday.
That's
oo.
good. That's good. At least it's
Tsaka
And
not rushing the
it
lawyer.
wasn't,
first
it wasn't
home
my choice. It was the choice of the seller.
mm, first home buyer, pagkabayad mo, "Ma'am, kailan na kami lilipat?" Sabi ko, teka lang." Sabi ko, "Kailangan
Yes.
person." Tsaka kung Friday, sometimes halimbawa may problema sa
Yes,
documentation,
may
liens, oh my gosh. O kaya insurances, minsan alam mo yon ano, ayaw tanggapin last minute, kasi yung insurance lalo na yung lot something something ta's nagbago yung address, oh my gosh. Okey, may mga
yes.
gano'n. Alam mo hangga't
Oh,
ano ka, I remember one time, I was in an event, okey, everything has been ano, I prepared everything already, ipu-push ko na lang yung ano, yung, um, tawag nito,
This is
to
send.
pay, ise-send ko na lang
Yes.
yung payment, tapos, my gosh, okey, ano, tawag nito, yung mag-asawa hindi pa nag-a-agree kung okey na sila dun sa rectification o hindi pa. So alam mo, I went out of the conference, I went back to the office. Kasi wala ring kuwenta kasi andodo'n ako nakaupo ko sa conference. Akala ko ipu-push ko na lang, hintayin ko na lang yung pera from the bank, 'di ba? Tapos ko na, everything iron out. Diyos ko, labas ako ng labas ng conference room. Sabi ko, I better go to ano, I better go back to the office. Oo. So gano'n ang pakiramdam namin. Oo.
Yes. Ang haba na pala ng usapan natin.
Oo, sabi sa'yo, eh. Ano, don't worry, as I said, it's nice to have this conversation kasi the other people
Mm,
would more ano, it's more natural and people would learn more.
relate.
I-ano ko lang ng konti baka sabihin niya due diligence at finance lang. So kasama rin po yung land information, okay, which is
Mm,
LIM.
yeah.
Kasama rin yung kung luma na yung bahay at sa tingin niyo kailangan niyo ng toxicology report. Tapos yung
yes.
importante regardless if it's a new build or what, yung engineering, builder's report, okay? Sometimes if the builder's report would be exhibiting a lot of anomalies, I would sometimes
Mm,
request about the weather tightness report. Okay?
yes.
Mm,
Tapos luma, minsan pinapaano ko na, do we really need to have the asbestos report? So marami kasi depending
Mm,
on when. Kasi yung iba wala
for the
namang
property.
CCTV. Okay, kasi
mm,
if the
Yes.
house was built before that don't require any council ano, 'di ba? Council
Yes.
approval, then you don't have to. Tapos obviously, you'd have to to search on the title as Mary Ann mentioned kanina, 'di ba? Kung
Yes.
pala
Um,
merong nagbebenta hindi naman pala sa kanila yung binebenta.
And then
Oo.
also, I remember, so I sold a property a little bit like almost like a lifestyle property po. So
Mm,
there's also that's a part of the due diligence at the Juvie with the titles and the boundaries. Yung boundaries po nung bahay. So under the due diligence was then the lawyer suggested my clients, my purchasers to the property that I also listed to have it topographically checked.
mm.
So there are things like that po. So depending on the property that you're purchasing, so the lawyer can actually have a lot of work for that.
Oo.
yes, and it's
Sabi sa'yo talo
great.
kami ng agent, eh, 'di ba?
It's great advice na talagang you reach out to a lawyer because they can explain almost everything, especially things that you may not know about. Like
Mm.
even I
Mm.
myself, I'm already a home owner. I missed out all of this information and I'm just so lucky na okay naman yung bahay na nabili ko.
Yes.
Ayun.
At least, so, and then we have a lot of kababayans because I remember I had a purchaser that I helped. They ended up purchasing with me anyway. But then I helped them because there was an agent that was pushing them to buy an apartment. Which is for me, I'm like with the same amount of money and then the same amount, you can buy a cross lease, which is second to the highest type of ownership in here in New Zealand. And then you're not paying body corp, you're not paying a lot of other expenses. So yung
Oo.
mga iba natin kasing kababayan, they also don't understand the type of ownership sa New
Mm.
Zealand. So they were just talking to an agent and then the agent will just push that to for them to buy it.
Oh, and
Sabi
that's
ko
a good topic for us to discuss next time because we don't have enough time to cover everything. We greatly Thank you. Appreciate you, Attorney Maricel. And we look forward to having you again because I know the policy here in New Zealand keeps changing. And
Changing.
Yeah.
it would
That's why
be
when
nice.
you've given me the list, sabi ko, ilang oras tayo? Kasi we could not cover that. Sabi ko, I think we're just gonna go on, why do you need a lawyer? Which we said, legally it's required. And then
Yeah,
second, and the most important is you need somebody to assist you in understanding the terms and condition. Okay? And then at the same time, you wanna ensure that, you got everything in place. Kasi when you declare unconditional, wala na pong ano yon, that's your
wala na.
legal responsibility na, emotional ka pa, tapos inano mo pa, nag-unconditional ka pa, tapos maraming issue. Kasi okay na,
Mm,
swak sa, kasi ganito Pinoy eh, okay na yan, ang ganda ng bahay, ang ganda ng location, swak sa budget. Yun na.
mm,
Parang, di ba, it stops there. Tapos ang bait naman ng agent ko,
Mm.
ang ganda pa. Di ba? Tapos na. But realizing that, o teka ha, ano pala yan,
legit.
babagsak yung ating bubong, okay,
Mm,
tapos
Mm.
home yan, tapos binabaha diyan. Kasi you'd see that with the due diligence as well as with the limb report, flood pa bato, etc. Yun. So
Yes.
again, there's so many things and I've enjoyed. Para lang ako nakipagkwentuhan. I'm not
yes.
even, kanina parang, nung una sabi ko, oh, very poised, parang ako, parang, oh, sige, okay. I've
Parang sa
enjoyed
atin,
Oh,
ang, ang naka-makeup eh. For us, it's like so casual. Nasa bahay lang tayo.
yeah.
And however we look, we don't care. As long as we
yeah,
give the right information and we educate our fellow
exactly.
kababayan especially. And the immigrants here in New Zealand because moving to New Zealand is just a first step. There's more, especially if you
Yeah.
have high. Okay. Thank you po.
Thank you
Thank you
so
po.
much.
You.
Thank you, Attorney
God bless
Mamarisa, for
you
your
guys.
time.
God bless you. Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you.
Ayan. Salamat po kababayan at napahabang ating usapan. But I wouldn't advise you to skip this video because it's really
Mm.
meaningful and insightful, especially sa mga nagbabalak na bumili ng bahay. And abangan niyo po kami next week. Ayan.
Yes, thank you so much, guys, for listening again and watching us. And of course, hopefully next time we can invite Attorney Maricel again because there's just so much stuff that we want to talk about, no, ate? So
I
we
really want
really
to
have
person even because, yep, kung ma-push through tong pagbenta ng bahay, we'll see how it goes. But now I know, andiyan pala si Atty. Maricel.
Attorney Maricel. Yes, so from my immigration advisor to my immigration lawyer, and now gonna be my property property
Yes.
lawyer. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ate
Okay.
Juvie, again for hosting the tonight show. And sa mga kabayan, thank you so much for watching us again.
Pleasure to work with you, to have a discussion with you. And next week, abangan niyo po ang another insightful discussion.
See
Paalam!
you! Good evening!